It's All Things Considered, Hawaii Public Radio, and I'm Dave Lawrence. This Sunday, the Aloha State gets a very special visit, a first visit from a legendary group, Duran. They may have some personal experiences here, but Sunday will mark their debut professional appearance in the Aloha State. They'll hit the stage at the Blaisdell Arena on their Paper Gods tour. We're super lucky to have the voice of Duran taking time to be our guest on ATC today, the incomparable Simon Laban. We welcome him now. Aloha, mahalo, Simon.
Hello, Dave. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing, man? Thank you.
Very good, thank you.
Fans are getting excited for the show, I'm getting that feeling, and I know it's the debut of Duran in Hawaii, but yourself personally, when was the last time you were in Hawaii?
I came in, I think it was 1987, on the way back from Japan, and stayed 2 nights at the Kahala Hilton, and then went to LA. I remember it was the worst jet lag I'd ever had in my life. Now we're coming to play a show for you.
Amazing.
And we're all very excited about it, Dave.
I can imagine. Really excited to get to talk to you. You have such a long career and so many exciting things you've done. It wouldn't be right to first not say, after losing my mom in 2013, still coming to terms with it, I offer my most sincere condolences regarding the very recent passing of your mom, Anne Marie. So just know people are thinking about you on that front.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I appreciate the sympathy. Thank you.
And sometimes it's people's parents that help encourage their passions and ultimately career. I guess I was fascinated at just 6 years old. You were entered in for a screen test for a TV advertisement. Explain how your mom took you to that and really surrounded you by music at a really early age.
Really? I grew up with music. So my very earliest memory is, in fact, waking up in my cot, with the wooden sides up, and hearing classical music and understanding where the music could go to, and from the movement, and then it went to that place, and it wasn't something I remembered. It was something that I'd kind of figured out where it could go, and from that point on, music was always mine, and that was something my mother gave to me. She was the one who put the radio in the bedroom when I used to have my afternoon sleep. And so I know what you mean about I was a bit of an advert kid when I was small, but I did photographic work first, and then and then TV commercials and other stuff like that. But at the same time, I was doing music as well. My mother encouraged me to sing, and I had piano lessons, I had violin lessons, I had flute lessons. I picked up the guitar when I was 12 at school, but so I kind of had this dual thing, sort of like a thespian sort of training. I went to a theatre and drama school from the age of about 5, and was acting from 5 onwards. But at the same time, I was doing music as well. And to me, they've kind of always been the same sort of thing, just different ways of looking at it. And music, it came to me as I fell into music as a much more natural kind of career for me. It made more sense to me.
And you were a member of your church choir too at a young age. I guess that also leads into what you're talking about.
Yeah, I was. Yes. That was an incredible. I had an incredible choir master. His name is Michael Turvey. He's a commander of the British Empire now, and he's an amazing musician. And he taught me to read music properly. He taught me just the theory of harmony, and he taught me to use my ears much more than anybody else did.
And looking later in your
guy.
I can imagine, and it's a lot of different great influences that have come together to make the cat that you are. And one of those, I just wonder, and maybe it didn't influence you at all, but not a lot of cats I've gotten to talk to have ever volunteered on a kibbutz at some time in their life. And I can imagine that was an experience that taught teamwork. I'm just wondering, what were some of the lessons that come out of that you would lend to the success of Duran, which is obviously working as a team over the long term? I
mean, I learned self-reliance, actually. And also that teamwork, obviously. But the big thing that happened to me there was I found a guitar that somebody had, and I started playing this guitar. And about 2 weeks into it, I'd written the chauffeur. I basically started writing a song called The Chauffeur, which is on the Rio album.
Right.
And that was the big thing that I brought to Duran Duran out of the kibbutz scene.
Amazing. That's so cool. And all these years later, when you talk about the inspiration for that song, or the inspiration for songs on Paper Gods, you've grown, you've lived an incredible life, children, a lot of different kinds of adventures. Are the inspirations drawn from different places than the early favorites like Girls on Film or Hungry Like the Wolf or Rio? The inspirations, when you guys did Paper Gods,
oh, right.
and you think of like the way that the things that inspire you to come up with a song today, I've got to believe come from different places than the earlier years.
Well, I think I come from the school of writing that believes you should write about what you know and what you really feel. So things that actually matter to me now, or what tend to be the things that get down on the record. Obviously, you know, I see the world in a slightly from a different perspective now than I did 40 years ago.
Right, that's what I mean.
So yes, you're absolutely right. There are very big differences. I mean, I think Paper Gods is quite a grown-up album. I think it looks at the world with a slightly less romantic view. And it's funny because we came out of a scene called the New Romantics.
Exactly.
And I never quite could figure out why we were called that. So I thought, well, I'm not romantic. I've got a real grip on reality and everything. But then now when I listen back to those songs and look at how we were and how we sort of viewed the world at that time, then I understand why they called us the New Romantics.
There was a lot of realism, though, back then, too. That's funny you mentioned that difference in perspective. When I got to believe getting a song in the James Bond movie like View to a Kill, the tonality of that, to me, lends itself to a less romantic and more of a grown-up perspective, I guess.
Well, I think the Bond franchise is a grown-up thing.
Right.
However, the story and the concept of Bond is actually is quite sort of it's fantastical, and it's a stretch of the imagination. It's a fantasy, and as such is quite kind of juvenile in itself. I don't think it's very real. Right.
Great song though, man. Is that one of your highlights?
Thank you. No, I appreciate what you're saying, and I love that song as well. I think it's got a lot of power to it, but it was definitely a song about the Bond fantasy.
Right. Yeah, and that's what I mean. It's timeless in a lot of ways, and it's kind of a departure for what you were doing at the time, but yet sounds so current and crisp when one listens to it today. Anything that comes to mind when you think about the set that you're going to be doing here, or how you're feeling about the presentation people are going to get? Anything you want to let people know is coming, or talk about the show a little bit?
Well, I don't like to kind of preempt anything or give anybody a sort of an idea of what to expect, because I think that concerts and this kind of experience is always better if you're not going with any expectations. What I would say is we're going to play a lot of songs that you know, and some of you may love as well. We're going to play some new music from the new album. We're going to play and some slightly more obscure numbers that the fans are going to really like, because they like the album tracks and things like that. As far as presentation goes, we just like to excite people, so we use every trick at our disposal to kind of do that, including lighting, staging, and some special effects.
We're really looking forward to it, Simon. It's going to be fantastic.
Me too. And for Duran Duran to come to Hawaii for the first time in a 40-year career, it's a huge landmark for us. It really is.
We're really looking forward to it. Grateful for your time.
That's fine, Dave. Aloha. It's Simon Le Bon from Duran Duran, and you're tuned to my friend Dave Lawrence. Please make a pledge to support this non-profit radio organization and All Things Considered.
You're the man. If you're a fan of public radio and you felt like doing a follow-up when you're in town, I'd come down there at whatever time, record it at your Soundtech hotel lobby, anywhere you wanted, because I really do appreciate your time. Do keep that in mind if that's something that you would be willing to do. It means a lot.
Okay.
to the radio station.
All right, Dave, I get that. Well, I'll talk to Karen about it.
And I hope you had a good time today. I really appreciate it. I give you a big hug and a high five, and I thank you for your time, brother.
I look forward to seeing you.
God bless. Be safe.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
You too.